I have written this just to keep things in order, not to jump from one subject to another. I will try to make a kind of systematic journey to those two important statements, the truth and the divine love. All of us here, more or less, we represent an interest in Indian religion and philosophy. Some of us seems to be born in India. They have, so to speak, Indian bodies. And some of us are born in Europe or in other parts of the earth globe. So our bodies are different. But there is one common thing that we share all together. We seem to long after to know what is the truth and what is divine love. In fact, everybody on this earth does it. We call it the search by different names. The most common name is happiness. Nobody here can say they don't want to be happy. Whatever we do to be happy. Then, accordingly to our qualification, to our feelings, internal moods, and grade of spiritual advancement, we define this differently. But definitely, everyone wants to be happy. So we are looking for this happiness through different means. Some wants to be rich, thinking that it will make them happy. Some trying to get some political power, thinking it will make them happy. Some others are going to the philosophy and trying to speculate about how things originate, how they are, and what all this lead us to. And the others, again, are searching for this happiness through the means of religion. All those methods of searching are valid. We're just looking for this accordingly to our spiritual advancement or to our intellectual abilities. But, I repeat again, nobody here can say, if he is not mad, can say that he's not trying to be happy. Everybody wants to be happy. But the truth is, most of us feels very unhappy, unsatisfied. Why is that? What lies behind this behavior? This can be answered by philosophical quest. So, the philosophy, meaning love of wisdom, ancient Greeks, this ancient Greek term, philos, to love, and Sophie, or Sophia, meaning the wisdom. So philosophy is love of the wisdom. Of course, this world is devaluated like everything else nowadays. So nowadays, philosophy means a intellectual speculation. It's not about wisdom anymore. It's about to speculate about nature of the things. But the original meaning of the term is love of wisdom. So a philosopher, in true meaning, it means the one who loves or tries to understand, to find out what love is. Love equated with wisdom. There is no difference. We will come to this later. So, we represent one branch of Indian philosophy, or Vedic, if somebody wants to call it like that, which is called a Gaudiya Vaishnava line, meaning we are Vaishnavas, the worshippers of Vishnu, means God, and we do our search in the line of teachers coming from Gauda, meaning Bengal. So, this philosophical school is called Gaudiya Vaishnava school. And it originates from Middle Age India, from the time of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who appeared on this earth 1492. He came and he became mad of love for God. He acted like a being crazy, always dancing and singing the names of the God. Different names, as they are found on the soil of Indian, or if you want to say Hindu religion. It's not nice word Hindu, because Hindu it's a Muslim description of the people who lived in the country which we know as India. They call it Bharatavarsha. But because Muslims cannot pronounce S, so they wanted to say they are Sindhu people, but they couldn't pronounce it correctly, so it became Hindu. But, in fact, the people living there, they are people who are adherents to the Sanatana Dharma, meaning eternal way. So they could be called, instead for Hindus, they could be called Dharmists. Would be more correct. But it became Hindus. So now even Indians, they call themselves also Hindus. But now it's growing some opposition to this name, so some important intellectuals from India, they trying to change the situation. So, everybody is looking to be happy. Understanding internally that being happy means also to living in the truth. But because of different qualification, we define this differently. So, in my spiritual line, the truth is equated with love. Coincidentally, you could say, it's exactly the same as the Bible says, the Christian tradition. The Christian tradition says one of the evangelists, one of the Gospels, begins with this meaning. God is love. So in our Gaudiya tradition, we agree with this. Because we accept there is God, Krishna. Krishna meaning the proprietor and everything, and all attractive. Therefore, it's a good, the best epithet to describe who God is. It's someone who is all attractive, meaning all attractive on every level, in every meaning of the word. So, and the very core of this God, of this Krishna, is Radha, meaning his internal potential of love. In our philosophy, there is no difference between person, a personage of God, and his creative force, which is called Radha, and which means love. So, we define absolute truth or truth as Radha, as love. And this energy is called different names. It's called Hladini Shakti, meaning internal potential of God. Man, it's called also Radha Rani, queen named Radha. So, Gaudiya school of thought teaching us that the best means to know what the truth is to serve God through the medium of divine love. And how to do it? It's shown by example of Srimati Radha herself, who, being the first and most important expansion of the God, showing us how to do it by her personal example. Because she is this energy, this Radha, this Hladini Shakti, is personified as a specific person called Srimati Radharani, or the Holy Mother Radharani. So, the stories describing amorous pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So, devotee in the line of Gaudiya should to study those pastimes under guidance of qualified spiritual master, after taking some initiation to the spiritual life from him, and learn how to find what is his or her own nature and how to serve God, knowing his or her own spiritual form. To be able to do this, we have to say about two things. One, we can say something about how love is. So, accordingly to our philosophy, there are two kinds of love. One is called conditioned, and the other one is called unconditional. In the first case, conditional love means something like that. If you will be nice to me, then I will reciprocate, I will be nice to you also. Then we can love each other. So, conditional love requires that you do something for me, then I will do something for you. This we can observe everywhere, in everyday life with most of the people. But there exists also something which is called unconditional love. This unconditional love, its feature is like that. I love you as you are, and I'm not demanding anything from you. I make you the center, and I will be orbitating around you. Whether you love me or not, I will love you anyway. Meaning, I'm not setting any condition for our relationship to exist. So, this kind of relationship we can observe studying the amorous pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Krishna and the gopis of Vrindavan. The gopis of Vrindavan, they are just country girls, milkmaids, who are able to do anything and everything for their beloved Krishna. They enjoy anything he does. And he does many pranks with them. Sometimes he is cheating them. Not fulfilling their desires, apparently, looks like. Leaving them alone. But they still love him without no condition. So, the meaning is only in spiritual life this kind of unconditional love is possible. If you are on the material plane, meaning trying to exploit the other, then you cannot taste the spiritual love. Because spiritual meaning giving to the other. Other is in the center, not demanding anything. This is one of many definitions of what spiritual is. There are many other definitions, but this one is one of them. I do not for my own satisfaction, not for satisfaction of my senses. I do it for satisfaction of my soul. But before it's possible to think like that, you have to have some idea what the soul is for something. So, almost all spiritual traditions of the world describing that soul is a living entity, is a living thing that is living inside our body, which is unchangeable, which is eternal, and which is our true self, and which can be discovered by the spiritual quest, with the help of some meditation practices, not otherwise. You cannot think you to this. It cannot be discovered by intellectual quest, because it's out of the reach of the intellect. Intellect is describing some external symptoms of the existence of the soul, but intellect cannot reach there unless it becomes spiritualized, which technically in the Indian philosophy, in the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita, the Song of the Lord, is called buddhi, meaning intelligence enlightened or guided by the Spirit. Only then this intellect will become a spiritualized. Then, with help of this instrument, you can get, all right, meaning spiritual understanding, who you are. What is this world? What is the existence? And what is relationship, mutual relationship between you and this world, between you and the spiritual world. Only then. So we can see that a lot of people in the whole history of humankind try to understand who they are. But the most of them couldn't do it because either they did it the wrong way or they weren't pure enough to be able to get this vision. Because this soul is independent from our body. This soul is something which makes that our body appears to have a separate existence, independent existence. But we can do very simple exercise or experience. We can lie down here. Body of the dead man and a living person. Apparently, and for our senses, we cannot see no difference. There are two bodies lying there. But one is cold and unmoving, and then the other one is full of expressions. Why? What is there in this living body that is not anymore is that dead body? If we are only a gathering of molecules and atoms, what is the difference? What is there in the living body that is not anymore in the dead body? They look the same. One is living, moving, one is dead and not moving. Something's missing in one of the bodies. So, we used to say that this body is living and the other one is lifeless, meaning the life is not there anymore. So, on the ground of Indian philosophy, they describe that which is not present in the dead body and is present in the living body, this is what is the soul. This is what is a creative and living force that makes that one body appears to be living and the other one appears to be dead. This is the difference. They made some try to even weight this, and they came to some conclusions. But anyway, this is called life energy. So, It's not precisely, exactly what the soul is, but very near. So in India, they call it prana, life force. But the prana, life force, is not the self either. It's very subtle, but still material energy. Soul is much more than this. This you can find out only by sincere spiritual quest. So, if you are really interested, then you have to be ready to undergo special discipline to prepare the ground for the deeper search. Depending on tradition you are born to, there are different techniques how to do it. So, in our tradition, the technique is to meditate about our own form. This is called Svarupa, meaning my own form. And beside this Svarupa, there is also something which is called Svarupa Siddhi, meaning Siddhi means a quality, power, perfection. So, Svarupa Siddhi meaning to have a perfect form. So, the process in our school is first to understand our own spiritual form, and then, with the help of meditation, to get the perfection of this form. And to do this, there are special techniques. We are not going at the moment deeper to this. To make it easier also, on the ground, on Indian thought, there are two terms. One is called dharma, meaning the eternal way, or eternal religion, if you like that. And bhakti, which means love, unconditional love. That can be shown by one person to the other. Like from the son to the father, like from the daughter to the mother. So, the Vedas, our holy books, says that Krishna, or God, is the father, and the soul is the son or daughter. Then the one is parent, the other is the issue. And the relationship between the two is that the issue, meaning that being a part, has the same qualities like the whole, like the Father. But the quantity of those qualities are different. Like, for example, the God in no situation can be covered by an illusion. But the soul, which is a part of God, because of its minute dimension, is prone to be kept under power of illusion. It's one of the differences. There are others, but this is the main one. So, there is a relationship, as always. You can observe this. Mother and the child, there is always a relationship. One is giving nourishment to the other. The mother is always giving nourishment to the child. This is nature of the relationship. So, in the same way, the soul is a child of the God, being his part and parcel. And this God, call it Godfather or Godmother, does not matter how you call it. Always take care about his creation or expansion, if you like. Sounds nicer. Expansion means you being apart, but creation means giving a feeling that there are definite difference. Yes. So, on the ground of Western philosophy, we are using this expression, creator and creation. But in the finer cycles of Indian philosophy, they're using this expression, the source and its expansion. I like it much more. I'm a little bit bored of this creator and creation, or creator and creature relationship. Seems like very impersonal, not so sweet. But the source and expansion, for me personally, it's nicer. So I'm prone to accept this explanation. It's much more convincing me. I like it much more. And I have this freedom to choose. So I'm choosing like that. But usually, being born into the Christian tradition, whether atheist or not, we are anyway born into the Christian tradition everywhere. We can feel it and see it. And whether we are aware of it or not, so we are deep down, everybody has this Christian way of defining and calling and seeing the things. So, this father-child relationship is easier for us to understand than the explanation of the source and its expansion. So, when we meet the Indian philosophy, and we often hear these words like incarnation, emanation, expansion, and things like that. Sometimes we like it, sometimes we don't, depending on who we are ourselves, how we understand ourselves. But definitely, one thing is sure, there is a relationship between the source and its offspring. And this relationship's nature is like between the father and the son, like between the owner and the owned. Those souls who are able to understand this clearly are liberated, meaning they are not anymore under the illusion, under the Maya's influence, meaning they know who they are. This means they will act always correctly. Correctly means according to the God's will. And, as we said initially, God is love. They will act lovingly in every situation and to everybody. But the situation for the most of us is different. You are falsely identifying ourselves with this body. So we are looking for the material happiness. We are thinking that gathering material things will give us happiness. Of course, we will get a happiness. But the nature of this happiness, like everything in the material world, will be transitory, because everything which is created has to finish to be, has to finish to exist. No other solution is possible. Something which becomes created has to die. So, this is the condition of our bodies, of our brain, which is nothing else like a part of our body. Very sublime, very important, but still it's a bodily issue. It's been born and it has to die, whether we like it or not. But we share, all of us, one wish. We want to exist forever. And even we act in that spirit. We act every day like that wasn't existing. But everybody knows it came to existence any time, any moment. Nobody is sure when it will happen. But still, in our ignorance, we are acting like it is happening to the others, but it's not happening to me. This is our main ignorance. But we should understand that everything which comes to existence has to cease to be, must finish. But internally, I repeat, we have this feeling that we are not going to die. And this feeling is completely correct if we understand that we are not this body. This is right signal coming from our very essence. Of course, because being a part of life, being a part of God, we are eternal. But we are not this body, and we are not this body. We begin this meeting that it should be about the truth. This is the main truth that should be understood. We are living entity, and we are not this body. And not also, as somebody wants to have it, that we are part as a living entity, that we are part of this body. No. We are unmaterial. We are spiritual. We are living force. We are that which makes that this body can move and do things. When we are not anymore in this body, that we are placed in the cemetery. We are not. Nobody wants anymore to be with us. We have to be put away some places. So, this connection between the source and the offspring, between the God and the spirit soul, is an eternal relationship. As I said, like between the child and the father or mother. But there is one more component needed there. To have this relationship being complete and perfect. The Son of God, this me, this I, has to serve the whole, the God, with love and affection. When I do this, then I'm happy. Only then I'm happy. Therefore, you are so stressed and so unhappy, because even if you are getting some happiness, it goes away after a few moments. Everybody had this experience of being happy, and everybody has this experience of being depressed when this feeling of being happy comes to an end. And this trivial, everyday thing taking us away in its stream. Everybody has this experience. So, how we solve this problem? We are start to dreaming. Okay, next time I will do it better. So, we are taking two different means to make our behavior more perfect, to gain more happiness. But the wise ones, the rishis, the holy men, they say, no. It's not going to happen unless you understand who you are, meaning what is your svarup, and unless you attain perfection of your own form, svarupa siddhi, as we said this before. Only then, when do those two things, when you are able to do those two things, only then you will be fulfilling the requirements to being happy in a true meaning, spiritually happy. So, the God is love. We call it, in our tradition, Radha Krishna. And where Radha, or Radha, means this power of love of God, where Krishna means God. And it is said also that God, Krishna, owes everything. And everyone has to serve him. But he has to serve Radha, his potency of love. She is stronger even than him. So, knowing this and wondering how big is love of Radha to him 500 years ago. He appears on this earth in the body of his own devotee, with the complexion of Radha's body, and with her feelings. And he starts in her body and with her feelings, searching for himself. So, our Holy Scriptures describing Krishna as like a bluish body of the raining cloud. And the Radha's body is a golden one. Golden, like a molten gold. So, when God comes to this earth 500 years ago, as a Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so he takes on himself not only feelings of the Radha, also her own complexion. Therefore, he is called also Gauranga, the golden one. Gaur means golden, and Anga means like limbs. So the one whose limbs, meaning parts of the body, are of this golden color. And this Lord Gauranga, by the example of his life, showing his devotees how to behave to attain this divine love, this unconditional love for God. So, those who are lucky enough to get this kripa, meaning mercy of God, in the form of coming in touch with this philosophy. They have now opportunity to taste and release the same feeling as he did when he was searching for God. Now, it's up to you. If you are eager enough, if you have lobha, meaning a spiritual greediness for attaining your goal, meaning to be focused only on this one thing, then, and only then, you will be able to taste the fruit of this unconditional divine love for the Godhead. And this is said to be attained by the two means, with the help of sadhaka body and with the help of siddhadeha, or saintly body, or perfect body, of spiritual body. Practically looks like that. In your present body, you should repeat the holy names of God as you know them, as you like. We prefer to use the Mahamantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Because this mantra, this formula, accordingly to our philosophy, describes in the most competent way who is God, who is living entity, and what kind of relationship exists between the two. But if you are in another tradition, no problem. You can repeat the holy name of God accordingly to the tradition you are born to, or you prefer to be in. No problem. But this is the process. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Iva Kevalam Kalam Naste Vanaste Vagati Anyata. This is a verse telling that in present age of Kali, the only means of spiritual fulfillment is to repeat the holy names of God with pure mind and heart. Then, what is revealed in those names will be, what is hidden in these names will be revealed to you. You will attain the divine love. There are other conditions to be fulfilled, but they are of the preparatory character. They should prepare your body to be able to do this properly. This is called also Vaidhi Bhakti, meaning the love that is attained by the way of doing things accordingly to the rules or regulations that are set for centuries ago or thousands of years ago by the enlightened wise men, by the rishis. This you do with this sadhaka body, meaning the body of the practitioner. But you have also another body, the spiritual body. And in the spiritual body, which is called siddhadeha, meaning perfect body, in this body, you should render the direct service to the God in his spiritual realm. So, in this body, you can get by the Guru Kripa, by the grace of your spiritual master. If you are greedy enough, you approach a spiritual master, you ask him for guidance, and then accordingly to your need, he will Radhe, he will show you his unconditional love, his grace, his kripa. And he will tell you all what you need to know. Two ways are there. One way, you can imagine yourself doing all those things. And gradually, this imagination, which is of preparatory character, will become an ultimate reality. You will change. You will enter the spiritual realm. This is one way. Another way, the spiritual master can reveal you spiritual identity. Both ways are valid. Sometimes there are discussions going about this. But the fact is both ways are valid. But the guru, the spiritual guide, is needed. If we are trying to do it independently, then a lot of dangers are there. We can make too many mistakes, heavy mistakes. So heavy that then even can kill our spiritual life. So, therefore, wise person trying to take shelter of an experienced person, more experienced person than himself. If he is interested enough to go this way. So, because Radha, or love itself, is a personification of love. So, to serve this Radha, Radha Dasyam, Dasya means to serve to Radha, is the proper way of serving Krishna. Because Krishna, or God, is not so much satisfied if you are trying to serve him directly. He wants us to serve him via medium of his devotee, of his sincere devotee. And of all the Krishna's devotees, his own potency of love, Radha, is the best of the devotees. So, if you are serving his best devotee, then you are guaranteed to satisfy him. in effect, His grace will be revealed to us in many ways. You can have, for example, a darshan, meaning a vision of God. You can see Him by your perfected spiritual eyes. You can see Him in everything and in everybody. And this is what will give you complete happiness. Meaning that you are trying so hard to attain. Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. 4 Sanskrit words meaning religion, well-being, sensual satisfaction, and liberation. They are the 4 goals of human existence according to Sanatana Dharma, according to the wisdom that you can find in the Vedas. But there is also 5th Purushartha. Purushartha means the way. But there is a 5th Purushartha, which Mahaprabhu gave us. This is pure love of God. Prema Bhakti, devotion full and guided by unconditional love. So the truth, to conclude all this, the truth is, there is God and there are living entities. There is a relationship between God and the living entities. And the God should be served by the medium of divine love. So, it's also said in the Vedas that this Maya, this illusion, cannot be conquered by no means. If we concentrate, for example, to master greed or lust or other so-called sin, we are not going to be successful. It's very difficult. In this age of Kali, age of quarrel, practically it's impossible for 99.99% of population. Besides, this is a negative way of action. Mój Gurudev Srila Prabhupada used to say, we are not doers, we are doers. So, meaning that trying to not do this, not do that, not do this, not do that, is not the way. The way is, if you have to do something, do it properly. So, we shouldn't try to get rid of our weaknesses. We are not going to be successful. The Maya, illusion, is much more stronger than us. But if we change the direction and we start to meditate about our own Svarupa, our own form, and about the glories of the Lord, by the way of the chanting His name, and by the way, we are medium of meditation about His pastimes, about His loving pastimes with His devotees. Then, without no problem, we will conquer those weaknesses. But if we are concentrating on conquering the weaknesses, it's not possible, because our focus is the wrong one. Maya, this illusion, will not allow this to happen, because it's not the right way. The right way is to be positive, to be loving, not to be neglecting. We have tried, all of us. We know what the result is. Don't try to fool me. Every time we do this, we cannot attain our goal, because it's impossible. It's wrong direction. But there is solution. Lovingly serve Radha and Krishna in the way the acharyas, the saintly men, has shown how to do it. Do it with firm and strong faith. And the result of all of this, leave to the Krishna. Because he says so in Bhagavad Gita. Whatever you do, do it without attachment. Leave it, results of your action, leave to me. Your thing is to do, and the results of your doing, of your actions, leave to me. If we can develop this kind of firm conviction, of faith, then we will uplift ourselves to the spiritual platform. And this, when we will reach this destination, which can be in form of a feeling, not as a geographical, sort of from point A to B. It can be in a form of a feeling. then whatever we do will be perfect. Because all what we will do, we have only one motive. We will be directed by unconditional love. This is goal of our spiritual practice. If you thought it differently, then you were wrong. We cannot do it by ourselves. Ultimately, we have to do it by ourselves. But in the beginning, we need a spiritual guide who has to show us the way. And of course, we cannot have a spiritual guide if we will not develop a faith and then strong and then pure love for him. Then he cannot help you. Because if you will be full of doubt about his ability, about his motivation, then you won't be able to Sharanagati, which is a Sanskrit term meaning surrender. And only if you will be fully surrendered, only then you can serve somebody with love. This must be understood. If you think that you can chant your mantras for a while and then do whatever nonsense you like, then you are not going to get the success. Of course, you purify yourself a little bit, of course, because this is a holy name, working always in all situations. But if you want this spiritual happiness, total happiness, then you have to change your attitude. You have to change completely your perspective. From material, you have to become spiritual. What does it mean? It will be revealed to you proportionally to the purity of your thought and action. As much as you open on God, as much He will reveal to you to yourself. If you are closed, if your position is like that, nobody is ever to touch me, then you won't be able to see anything. If you are afraid to take risk and open wide your arms like that and cry for the mercy, then you won't see anything. Only if you do this. No other condition is needed. Because then if you do this movement, everything else will be revealed. You will get instruction not only outside from the Guru in the body. You will get this instruction also from inside, from the Chaitya Guru, the Guru who is in your heart, which we in the West call the voice of God, or the conscience, which is the same. That's the one is the material description of the event, the other is more like a religious thing. And then try to understand also one thing. We are not doing, we have nothing to do with religion. If you think I'm a religious person, I will be dissatisfied because I'm not interested in religion at all. Religion means rituals. Rituals I mean for organizing the life on the material platform. Bhakti is not about religion. Bhakti is about spirituality. And spirituality means complete change of the perspective. Throwing yourself into the spiritual realm, where everything is up and down, where everything exists forever in complete form and gives absolute happiness. Sat, Chit, Ananda, meaning. This is the quality of the spiritual world. The spiritual world is Sat. It's true. And eternal. It's Chit. It's self-conscious. And it's Ananda. It's full of bliss. Now, you go your home after we ate prasadam and think, what do you want in your life? Was this Swami sitting here and lying for you, telling your stories? Or maybe he could see a little bit what you really want. Don't you want this happiness that fulfills two requirements? Being complete and being everlasting. If not, if it's not true, then maybe you will feel that the time you spent with me was not correctly spent time, because you could do something else, more pleasant at the time. But if it's so that I could show you what you really want, it harmonizes with that you really want, then go and reflect. There is no sin in our life. Those who go to you and say you are sinners, they're not telling the truth. Of course, in our human language we use this term sinners, but sinners don't sin. But what sin? The only sin is what you want. If you desire wrong things, then you will suffer afterward. Therefore, it's called also sin. By the tradition, they call it like that. But, sin is here. It's what you think, what you want. If you want to be loved by me, there's only way. You have to show your love to me. Then you will feel love from me also. But if you want to exploit me for your own pleasure, this is not love, this is exploitation. So try to reflect. Do you want to exploit the other for your own sense gratification? Or you want to love? Because love means giving. And exploitation means only taking. Because then you put yourself in the center and treat the other people instrumentally, as an instrument to fulfill your own sinful desires. So, think, if you want to be loved, then there is no alternative. You have to love. If not, then sorry, pal, it's not going to happen in your life. Never. That's the God's law. Who doesn't have ability to love cannot taste, cannot release the love either. Okay, he will be thinking. Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
She or he will be thinking sometimes that he loves or is loved. But it's only an illusion. And it will be proved very quickly. And usually in a very unwanted and unpleasant way. So, if you want to practice bhakti yoga, then you have to understand. You should love the other without demanding anything from him or her. Start this right away. If you're thinking differently, then, sorry, there is no bhakti. You can call it bhakti if you want, but there is no bhakti. Okay, we can always discuss some details. We can discuss this way or that way or actions. How to do it. But it cannot never be a discussion if it should be or not should be done. It has to be done. So, now I was talking like 1.5 hours. Are there some questions? Yes?
What do you say to a person that doesn't believe in the soul? What do you say to a person that doesn't believe in the soul?
I say, poor soul. No, I say to him, do you want to be happy? We don't need to believe in the soul. I personally, I don't believe in the soul either. I see, it's a reality. I don't need to believe anymore in that. But if you, yes, so, if somebody doesn't like to this talk about soul, because it smells like a religion and things, so Don't force him. You don't need to use this term even. Talk to him about his happiness. Do you want to be happy? What you propose? What is your proposition to be happy? Ask him. Sometimes letting people asking is better way of action than trying to explain to things, because nobody wants to listen. Nobody wants to be corrected by nobody. I'm aware. Now I'm talking like almost 2 hours, giving like an impression that I'm correcting you or something. You are wrong. I'm not correcting. I'm sharing with you what is clear and obvious for me. I'm a very experienced man. I've done foolish things in my life. Most of the time, I was doing this. I never learned. I was making the same mistake again and again. Up to the moment they understood that it's useless. Because the result was always the same. 0. Even worse. It was all the minus. Always unhappy. Always unsatisfied. Meaning, you must be quite an idiot if you are unhappy time and time again, and you are doing the same mistake again. You must be an idiot. That's the reality. Whether you like the term or not. It's a term from clinical psychiatry, so we can use it. It's not, so to speak, personally directed. So, yes. But, excuse me, you had a question? Yes?
Yes, I have a question about love.
I also.
I think it's a practical question.
Yes.
When we feel loving towards somebody
Yes.
who doesn't act lovingly back.
Yes.
I'm talking about the person now.
We have to still love him. Old Testament and New Testament. You know what is the difference between Old Testament and the New Testament? Yes. What is Old Testament about? It's about laws and regulations. You should do exactly as it stands. Today, they are not working in Israel. Why? Because in the Old Testament it said, you are not doing anything on the Sabbath day. Yes? So, nobody's working. It starts in the law. But then comes the Jesus Christ and he says, okay, very nice, beautiful, God loves. But I came with a good news. You don't need to obey the laws anymore. You love instead. Because love has precedence before the law. And he showed it practically by his own example. It's not my imagination. We can discuss whether Jesus Christ was a historical person or not. But it's not the point to discuss this. Because probably we are not going to find the truth. They say that he was in India, he was crucified, this and that. It does not matter. We have this beautiful information that he died on the cross and things like that because of, you know what. I'm not going to repeat the Gospels here. No need. But he showed by his own example what to love somebody means. So, practically, I would say like that. If somebody is not showing love to you, it's not your business. It's his problem. Your business is to love him. And then what form this love will take has to be accordingly to the spiritual message you believe in. Our Lord Chaitanya said that we should love everybody unconditionally. And practically, it should be shown like that, that we are helping to understand the others, who they are, trying to make them reflect about themselves, trying to give him some hints. This is our way of giving love. And then they may pick it up and do something about this or not. This is also their business. We cannot force people. We cannot be like crusaders. We cannot be like Spaniards going to the Americas and killing people in millions in the name of Jesus Christ. This is not our way. Our way is to present the possibility, give you hope if you are, of course, unsatisfied with your own position, if you are feeling unhappy, if there is some truth in that what I was telling about today, gave you inspiration, if I'm lucky, to undertake right course of action. Why we like Buddhists and Lord Buddha like that? Most of us like the Buddhists or Buddha, especially Buddha, because he never expressed himself categorically. He said, you should choose the right way of action. You know, nobody is hurted. He didn't say, don't do this. He said, no. Meaning, you have to reflect on your own behavior, on what you think. He forcing you to think, okay, what does it mean? You know? And then you go deeper and deeper into yourself. And then you make yourself, by this questioning, you make yourself qualified to get the mercy. Otherwise, nobody has no qualification. Who can say he's qualified to see the God or serve the God? Nobody is qualified. We are all unqualified. But we have been shown and we have been given the mercy. Of course, when we forget this, so sometimes we think, oh, I've been in this Hare Krishna movement 40 years, so I'm qualified. This is bullshit. This is not true. Okay, nice, very historical person, first man in Poland, you know, they will be writing books about me, you know, so, you know. But it is nonsense. No, this is only an expression of your hidden pride, you know. I'm not totally out of business. No, I'm somebody. This is called pratishta in our Sanskrit language. You know, being too proud about yourself. And of course, everybody, all of us, sooner or later, you became offer for this because it's so pleasant, you know. So just a few days ago, a friend write to me, okay, I heard somebody was telling about you so nice. I said, okay, my God, help me. Now I'm doomed. Because if somebody telling good about you, then you are in danger. It's better that they accuse you about something, then you are on the safe side. Because it's so easy to get proud. Oh, okay, somebody could see I'm not that stupid. Somebody could see that I'm a good person. Only I thought that I'm a good person, but nobody seen this. But now, there's another one who could see I'm a good person. Okay, now I feel good. You know, because you want to be loved. And it's natural, it's okay. But the natural and proper way of responding to this, if you are right understanding, then you will be reciprocating this love to the others. So, okay, your question, sir? Okay. Somebody else? Yes?
Are there any female spiritual masters, or are they all guys?
In my tradition, I have different traditions. But I have one tradition. In one of my lines, on the 11 spiritual masters, I think 9 are women. Yes, of course. Man or woman, we are spirit souls. But, of course, spiritual master means a spiritual master, means some soul who has mastered it, who knows his own Svarupa, who he or she is, and who, if he has a genuine and self-realized souls, who perfected his form, attained the platform of Svarupa Siddhi. Our Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada, is writing about this in the Bhagavad Gita. Page 4, you read. Of course, he writes this way that I needed like 30 years to discover this, because I had so rush to go to the other things that I never seen this. But after many years, I read it again and I see. Already in the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita, he says of those 2 most important concepts in our philosophy, Svarupa and Svarupa Siddhi. And he stressed this. Without knowing your Svarupa, you cannot do proper, pure devotional service. Without attaining Svarupa Siddhi, you cannot get Krishna Prema. That means pure love of God. Yes, of course, a lot of spiritual masters are women, in the women's part. So love herself, Radharani, as a female form. I can tell you also a secret. On the spiritual platform, only God is alpha male. All souls are feminine. Whether they have man's body or woman's body. So I've been born in Poland, so I'm Polish, my background. So in my language, this hidden knowledge is perfectly given. The soul, in my language, is a feminine. Like in English, it's not so. Maybe so, but there is also self there. The other, which is of neutral character. In Swedish, what you say? Yes. What is this? Self? Self? Yes. It's neutral. Yes. So you know, in my language is more close to the original concept. You know.
In German, it's also.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And in Spanish.
Yeah. Yes. So it's like that. But according to our philosophy, all souls are feminine. Therefore, the highest, there are different relationships with the God. There are 5. Neutral relationship as a servitor, relationship as a friend, relationship as a guardian or parent, relationship as a lover. Therefore, in our philosophy, it said that realization of this relationship between you and God as a lover and beloved is the highest platform. This is the very heart of the teaching of our acharyas. Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasanta Sindhu, in the Nectar of Devotion, is writing about this. Of course, there are other scriptures, more confidential. They need some training from you before you can read it independently. And practically it said you should always study this under guidance of your self-realized spiritual master, not to go astray, because all this philosophy is described in erotical terms. Then, if you have in you some desire, then there is danger for misconception. And therefore, my Gurudev often said, beware what you desire. Because in what you desire is the seed of your misfortune. If you desire wrong things, then you cannot expect a right consequence. This is not so. Because everything, you see everything, even in this, as we are talking about spiritual worlds, but even spiritual world, maybe you have not access to. But all of us, we have access to this material reality. And we see that this material reality is governed by a strict laws. And this is one of such laws. No? The wrong seed cannot give a good fruit. It's impossible. But when you are in Maya, under the illusion, you think it's so, that the wrong desire can give you a good thing. Therefore, we create different misconceptions about everything. And our favorite subject is a spiritual life. There's most of misconceptions about spiritual life, what it is, how to practice it, and everything. Therefore, since time immemorial, they've been always a spiritual guides. So, if you want to trade in, if you want to go in on the spiritual quest, then the first condition is, okay, You feel the need, then you go and you look around after a competent person who can help you. If you think you can do it all by yourself, okay, if you must, you can try. But they say, you will be suffering a lot because it's stupid, because you don't know. And this self-realized person, this guru, he has been there. He knows which way is the safe. Of course, it's difficult to nowadays to convince people to take a guidance because you are questioning everything and everybody. We have no trust in nothing and in nobody. Only we have trust in our desire. This is our, what I want is right. Why? Because I want this. And what does it mean? You feel being a God. You think, and this in our spiritual jargon, we call it illusion. This is nonsense. We call it nonsense because it's not true. We call it that you are jealous of God because you are conditioned by so many things. But you want to give others the feeling that you are perfect. And then you have pretense. They cannot see your greatness. And you are unhappy because you feel you are great. You are great, you are perfect, you are the only one who can love perfectly. And why the others couldn't see it yet? I know I'm repeating myself. Every time I'm here, so I'm repeating this thing again and again. But it's needed. We think like that. Yes?
But the desire for faith is real. I mean, you say you should detach from
No,
desires in one way,
don't be detached. Yeah, you don't need to be detached from anything. It's better you will become attached to Krishna. To be detached is a negative way of action. To be attached to is a positive way of action. You understand? So, it's much better to be attached to Krishna. Why? Because you will start to glorify Him. But trying to be detached from sinful activities doesn't imply that you will start to worship the God. That's the difference. You understand? But when you are worshipping the God, then automatically you will be detached from the sensuous desire. Automatically, without even thinking about this. That's the great difference. So therefore, you are proposing the positive course of action. Don't try to be detached. And anyway, I said in the beginning, you cannot win this war. Illusion is much stronger. Before you started, you lost already. You lost already before you started. You cannot win against the Maya. That way, trying to be detached from something. Instead, there is a very safe way. Be attached to Radha and Krishna. Worship them. Try to know them first, who they are, how they look like, what they like to eat, how they like to be treated. There's so many. Your whole lifetime will you spend to know those things. So, this way, you enthusiasm and you will start purify just yourself automatically, thinking about the purest possible things. It's God and His force of love. There is no to more pure things, then without thinking about being purified, you really become purified automatically. As they say in Swedish, på köpet. Då blir det. På köpet. Yeah. So, but of course, it's your life, you decide. You can choose the course of action. This is the greatness of God. He tells you it's your duty to love you. He tells it clearly in the scriptures. But he is not going to force you to love him. Even more, because you want to go independently. He created this material world for you, that you can try to enjoy on your own. Of course, it implies some unhappiness, because this is nature of the material world. In material world, everything begins somewhere and everything ends somewhere. But your desire, as we said in the beginning, you know what your desire is. Your happiness has to be everlasting and complete. Only this will satisfy you. Therefore, we are searching for true love, for divine love. We call it different names, but what we're really searching for is this divine love. But divine can be found only with the divine. Cannot be found in the material. And of course, when you become a great devotee of God, then you will discover another thing. God is everywhere and in everything. Meaning, everything and everybody is worthy of loving. Of course, this love should be shown accordingly. What does it mean? You will know. Proportionally to how spiritually you are advanced. But you will know. And then you will adopt the correct way of action. And only then you can be happy. And because you want prema, Krishna prem, you want the love of God, even if you are not wholly aware of it, but it's what you really want. Only when you got on this platform, then you will get the answers. Now, what we are trying to do here is trying to create some interest in you for more deeper reflection. Maybe we will be lucky with that endeavor, maybe not. I don't know. It's Krishna to decide. But we are trying. And what we are presenting here is not our wisdom. Our acharyas, our line of teachers, is presenting this. And they get instructed by Krishna himself. 1,000 years ago, in different incarnations, and 500 years ago, by the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, golden avatar. So, now, because we have an artist here, so, yeah, you have one.
Yes. So, is there useful or is it an obstacle to feel?
What?
Is there useful or is it an obstacle in the path of bhakti to desire prema or the higher form of bhakti, like bhava bhakti?
This is correct. You should desire bhava bhakti.
Okay.
You should desire prema bhakti. That's the way. Because you are desiring the right way. On some stage, it's desirable. But if you get on a very purified stage, then you will stop even to desire this. Because it will be your reality, and then you will understand that selfless love and service to Srimati Radharani is the answer. And then this Bhava Bhakti, this Prema Bhakti will be there without you desiring it anymore. It will be part of your inner being. It will be you, with another word. So yes, initially we have to do it because without wanting this, how you can create enough spiritual grit to undertake the process? Could be not enough. So there is like a kind of this cabbage before you, okay, Bhava Bhakti, Prema Bhakti. And it's described by acharyas how this Bhava Bhakti looks like, how the devotee is acting when he is in Bhava Bhakti. So all this, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is showing this, and his advanced devotees by his or their behavior, and then you get inspired by this. Wow! When in Bhava Bhakti you do such a things, wow! So it can create in you the right motivation also. So of course, this is right course of action. Yeah.
The actual Sanskrit word for the lobha implies
yes,
a lustful greediness.
yes,
So,
exactly.
Yes.
And our acharyas say, my Gurudev say that the only qualification you need is this lobha. No other, because you have no other qualification. You are just rascal. This is what you are. So you can think you are fine, but you are not fine. You are just a rascal. So we don't like this. But that's our real position. We are rascals. We have to love God, but we choose not to do. What does it mean? You are a rascal. Okay, you can try to explain this away, this way or another. So we have, I think we have to finish here because we have also another point of program. This prasadam should be served. But before this, I ask you to listen a few minutes when Prabhu will play on harmonium. We will sing like maybe 10 minutes, then we eat prasad. And if somebody wants to talk with me privately, when we eat prasadam, so you're welcome. Thank you very much.